Opening night and time to check out the starting lineups to the tip-off of the new season. First for Orlando, Bryant is out there with Oladipo. And it's Vucevic in at the center, filling out the middle. Then there's Mo Harkless, and it's Harris in at the 4 spot. Jennings off a pick
From the free agency, we signed Jermaine O'Neal for a 1-year contract and Tyson Taylor for a 2-year contract. All of the bench players are back except Camby, who retired at the end of the first season. Jeffrey Bryant was our 5th overall pick. The 6'6" small forward is the best passer among my starters. This led me to start him at the point guard for the first game. I'm going to experiment with the lineup to figure out which is the best way to go. With the additions, we have a pretty good bench, with 14 players on the roster. Most of them will get to play on a regular basis. And we are covered in case of injuries, with still 22 million in cap space. Jeffrey Bryant's arrival means Aaron Aflalo will be relegated to the bench, but he will still play an important role for the team. Bryant had an impressive first game and proved a matchup problem for the opponent.
And that one is stuffed right through.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them double up here.
I agree, and they haven't been able to succeed with single coverage to this point.
His free throw form, however, is seriously awful, and I wasn't able to get a single one to drop. Jeffrey Bryant also came up with 9 assists with only 1 turnover and didn't get exploited much on the defensive end. We took a solid lead in the second quarter and refused to let the Pistons back into it. Our ability to run break was delightful and got us a lot of easy baskets off of steals and blocks. Oladipo's rookie season ended with him winning the Rookie of the Year, and he only improved his game in the off-season. He proved himself dangerous on both ends of the floor, ending the game with 4 steals and 4 blocks to his credit, as well as leading the team offensively.
Fast break, Lamb with the ball. Oh, and the jam by Harkless.
It's the first game of the NBA season, but on the halftime report, we're already in mid-season form. Orlando on top against Detroit. They're looking to pick up some W's in the early going today. Active hands is the way you describe their play. Getting a good amount of steals. They're playing up defensively and picking them off. Tobias Harris making the most of his minutes. He's got a dozen points and has been looking really good in terms of shot selection, shooting it well from the field.
And Bryant kicks to Oladipo.
To start the third quarter, we called plays for Oladipo, who had been playing well so far, and he rewarded us by hitting every shot to solidify our lead. The Pistons' defense wasn't really impressive on those shots either.
And again, it's Orlando with the 3.
And as hot as he's been this quarter, the game plan should be simple. Get him the ball and get out of the way.
We kept running the break after steals and missed shots, and ended the game with quite a few alley-oops. We got to play our bench extensively, and the game still ended in a clear blowout. Everyone got to contribute to the win, to the extent that almost all of the players on our team had a field goal, except for Lamb. I had to change Bryant's free throw form after the game. There's no way I'm going to hit anything with Biedrinch's form. In the second game we're covering today, we played the team ranked number 1 in the power rankings to start the season. The Los Angeles Clippers signed Carmelo Anthony in the offseason, making their already talented roster a nightmare to deal with. They now have their own big 3, which is going to be difficult to stop, and it doesn't help that Jeffrey Bryant is injured for the game. The game proved tough, and although we went with our usual small ball, surprisingly it didn't hurt us in the rebounding battle. Certainly it helped that for some parts of the game they matched up our lineup by playing Melo at the 4 and Griffin at the 5. However, they did completely destroy us in the paint, where they scored most of their points and also drew more fouls than we did. Although with DeAndre Jordan and Griffin shooting, they only converted 60% of the shots. While Jamal Crawford was feasting on the isolations he got, Oladipo really struggled in this game, starting with shooting just 1 for 8. This game had a really wide open feel to it, with turnovers going both ways, and fast breaks not being too uncommon. Thankfully, with this shot we finally got Oladipo going.
Drills it from outside. 6 points for him.
He's finally starting to get it going here offensively.
Now Griffin inside. Oh, and that one, no. Back to Taylor. Shot clock at 6.
We had our fair share of bad turnovers in this game, but as you can see, we got back in a hurry.
He lobs it up.
It's a real alley-oop that time, partner.
The pass, Clark, the catch, the dunk, all of it.
Today is always a great night for basketball on 2K Sports, so let's look back at first half action. Los Angeles in front against Orlando. Smart decision-making offensively, great ball handling, they've been limiting turnovers. Quite a show being put on by Carmelo Anthony so far. He's got 14 points and so far has done a great job playing lockdown D. And the Magic are still in it, going all out. A win here would propel them above 500 as teams jostle for early position. Nikola Vucevic making a big contribution. After 2, he's got 6 points and also collected 4 rebounds.
What mostly kept us out of the lead were the sloppy turnovers we were making on what should have been easy passes. Although there were times when players got stuck in animations, where there was nothing I could do to prevent the turnover after the animation got started. Although our transition defense after turning it over was good, and we didn't give up many fast break points, they still resulted in the opponent getting more field goal opportunities than we did. On the roadmap to building a contender, where are we exactly? The current lineup does have some talent that is certainly usable on a contending team, and most of the guys will still get better. Oladipo, Bryant and Vucevic are certainly players we can win with, but at the very least we need a good starting point guard that can coordinate our offense.
Shot denied. A follow goes in.
Our small ball style is not very well suited for defending some of the Western Conference teams either. Harris proved in this game he can't really be trusted to guard somebody like Blake Griffin or DeAndre Jordan. The best option would be to find a power forward to fill the hole.
And they haven't been able to return the favor. I mean, their offense in the paint has not been up to par.
Oh, and the jam by Harkless.
I think they gave him a little too much room there. I mean, that was all he needed to rise up.
The obvious trade option is Aaron Flalo, but with his age and talent, we're either going to only find a journeyman talent over 30 or a young player not really ready to take on a starting role on a playoff team. Another option is to trade Bryant, who, while a good player, is not essential, since we have Harris and Harkless, who are both capable small forwards. If you guys have any good ideas on how to fill the roles, I'd be more than happy to hear them. Keep in mind the trade rule that I can only make 1-for-1 player deals.
4 on the shot clock. Anthony goes up the baseline and right through it goes.
We were still in it to start the fourth quarter, but the Clippers took over the game with their offense. Playing great defense for most of the possession didn't seem to matter. We also had our fair share of turnovers, and the opponent was looking to get out on the break every chance they got.
Just 5 on the clock. Paul with the steal, and now the fast break. Anthony with the ball. Boy.
It didn't help that with the Hall of Fame difficulty, it seemed the Clippers seemed to just ignore our defense.
That's good. 6 to shoot. Anthony left side. And Griffin scores. The assist by Anthony. He's checked in for Taylor. Here's Paul. That that one falls coming off Anthony's feet. And it's Harris.
Ultimately, what lost us the game was their unbelievable fourth quarter run, in which we defended them well for the first 23 seconds of the shot clock, but then they made some insane pass through the defender or simply ignored our defense to put the ball in the basket. But without turnovers, I feel it would have never come to that, so there's still a lot left to improve. But I guess that's what Hall of Fame does. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.
They pulled off this win, Clark, with respectable performances on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I think